Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Sunday, May 5th, around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Quite the active day on the sun. 2 X flares and over a half a dozen M flares firing off. It looks like activity is coming to an end. We also have a geomagnetic storm watch for at least the next 24 hours. KP already pushing up above 4. Keep calm. It's boom time. Take a look at the global warming goodness. Late spring winter storm brings 2 feet of snow to Palisades, Tahoe, California. Actually, 26 inches of snow fell within 24 hours. Hours of powers and record-breaking snow as well as rain falling across California right now. Redding, California received 1.47 inches of rain, breaking the record set on May 4th, 1951 by more than half of an inch. The same day in 1998, Stockton received 0.15 inches of rain, but the city recorded almost half an inch yesterday at its airport, another record. More than 3/4 of an inch of rain fell in Modesto as well, breaking the May 4th record set back in 1932. So record-breaking rain and snow, ho, ho, ho. It can change so fast here. Weather whiplash for residents and visitors to the Sierras. Friday, they were in shorts and T-shirts with sunblock on, and then Saturday, an inch an hour. 40 million at risk of severe storms, intense tornadoes possible on Monday. And here is the Storm Prediction Center Day 2 categorical outlook. This is Monday through Tuesday, the severe weather threat, and it is moderate in that red bullseye. We're talking Oklahoma and Nebraska and Kansas, and it also looks like some heavy weather for eastern Nebraska and Iowa as well by Tuesday. A young boy dies in Texas floodwaters as authorities make more than 200 rescues across the state. Denton County still under flood warnings until Monday morning, according to the National Weather Service. And a chance for severe weather this evening for Kansas City. So heed the warnings, and here is the forecast. Active pattern for the west into the plains. A strong Pacific storm continues to track across the Great Basin. Heavy snow is expected across the high elevations and heavy rain across the lower terrain. Strong gusty winds will make for additional hazards for travelers, and these winds will bring increasing fire weather concerns for the southern high plains. Then, we will closely watch for severe thunderstorms across the central plains into Monday. We'll see wet, high-elevation snow and high winds in the west. Severe weather in the central southern plains. This is the updated map. High-elevation snow across the Great Basin. You can see winter storm watches and warnings out for half a dozen states there. Also bring quite a bit of wind. Windy and dry conditions in the desert southwest. You can see watches and warnings out in bright pink here. Will cause critical fire weather conditions. Severe thunderstorms and heavy rains are expected to develop across parts of the southern and central plains on Monday, which will be a fun day. Let's take a look at where that development will occur. Currently, we see that snow pushing east from California. Snow has petered off in the Sierras, now snowing in northern Nevada, eastern Oregon, Utah, Wyoming, and snow is now moving into Colorado. Let's move this through 6 hours. By late tonight, should be heavy snow for most of western Colorado and the high elevations as the heavy snow continues for the Rockies through the beginning of the week. And then that severe weather is going to pop up. You can see here that first little bit of it popping up in Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and then boom, it explodes by Monday night into Tuesday morning here in Iowa and the central U.S. Let's take a look at the total snowfall for the model run here. Here we go, 3, 6, 9 hours. By morning, we're going to be seeing some heavy snow totals up to 16 inches at the highest peaks for most of the Rockies as snow continues for the Pacific Northwest. Here is early in the week, Tuesday, Wednesday through Thursday. It looks like snow will continue for the Rockies into next weekend. Here is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then next week, where we could see by the end of May a heavy snowstorm moving through Canada That could be quite interesting. Stick with us for the updated models. Seismic update. We had an interesting rumbler today here in the U.S., a 4.4 in Utah, and now we have aftershocks. Largest quake of the day is going to be 6.2 here in Fafak, Indonesia, with some aftershocks as well. Moderate activity worldwide, especially here on the Ring of Fire in South America. So we'll keep a close eye on the earthquake watch as a 5.2 kicked off in Akutan, Alaska as well. So moderate activity on the map. As we take a look at worldwide volcano news, Ruang is still on the list and still puffing to 6,000 feet. Sabancaya to 24,000. Reventador to 14. Fuego to 16. And since the declaration at Puras, or Purase volcano in Colombia, the alert status has now been raised to orange. Seismic activity related to fracture and fluid movements has exhibited a consistent pattern in the terms and number of events and released energy. So we could see some increased activity here in Colombia in the coming days. Popo puffing to 22,000 feet today. Sakurajima to 6,000. Santo Huito to 13,000. Semaru to 15. Who knew? Now you do. Sabancaya to 21. Sakurajima puffing and continuing to pass. And that is wrapping up Liwotolol, 7,000 foot puff today. The worldwide volcano news. Space weather. The BZ component of the Interplanetary Magnetic Field, or the IMF, has been tipped south. Minus 10 nanotesla for several hours. Active geomagnetic conditions at KP4 possible for the next several hours. Let's take a look at what they're talking about here. This is the BZ that got pushed south just about 6 hours ago. It has returned, and, well, density has dropped off. Plasma speed is very low, below 400 kilometers per second. So nothing spectacular currently in the way of aurora activity, but we're still waiting for the arrival of an X-flare coronal mass ejection, a glancing blow, which could happen in the next 6 hours. In which case, please, if you're up in the evening when it's dark, get out and look up for the aurora, as we do have geomagnetic storm watch at least through May 7th. Telemetry not showing anything spectacular happening right now as density continues to drop. Also, while you're out there looking for aurora tonight, you could also be looking for the Eta Aquarid meteor shower. The Eta Aquarids peak tonight and tomorrow. They're the best nights to see pieces of Halley's Comet streaking through the night sky. If you've got clear skies and want an excuse to get away from town, downtown Leroy Brown, well, tonight's the night to get out of Dodge. The Eta Aquariid meteor shower is roughly at its peak and should be going strong tonight and tomorrow night, made up of the remnants of Halley's Comet that the Earth passes through. This annual shower is active from April 15th to May 27th, but always has a peak 2-day or 3-day period, which is going to be tonight and tomorrow, if you haven't heard me say that already. Meteors can show up at a rate of 10 to 30 per hour, according to the American Meteor Society. And you can see the Eta Aquarids starting around 2 a.m. local time in the Northern Hemisphere, radiating from Aquarius constellation, though you'll want to look from about 40 to 60 degrees around Aquarius to see them. Weather permitting, conditions are pretty good for watching them since the moon is in its late waning period and won't be reflecting much light. So, good news there. The Eta Aquarids peak tonight. A long-delayed Boeing Starliner is ready for its first piloted flight to the International Space Station. The only problem is Musk's SpaceX has brought more than 50 people up into space, and, well, Boeing Starliner hasn't brought a single human. Bad news and many setbacks, billions of dollars over budget, 7 years late. We know a lot about what's going on with Boeing. Let's take a look at this mini documentary on a catastrophe in the making.
This weekend, an Atlas V rocket rolled out to its launch pad at Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. On top of the rocket booster, Boeing Starliner spacecraft. Boeing has flown many of us around the world for decades. Now it's preparing for its first flight to space with a crew on board after years of delays and stumbles. CBS's Mark Strassman is at the Kennedy Space Center tonight with more. Mark.
Good evening, Jerika. After a series of setbacks that made Starliner seem almost snake-bit, Boeing desperately needs this test flight to be a win.
And our motto, know everything and perform it well.
Perform it well.
Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, two of NASA's most seasoned astronauts. But even for them, nothing compares to a flight assignment like this.
Never in my wildest dreams would I have imagined to be the crew for the first flight of a spacecraft.
Every now and then it's like, wow, this is cool. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
In this simulator, we watch these former Navy test pilots practice docking Boeing's Starliner to the International Space Station.
This is a risk, and it's a higher risk than most flights, but what a great opportunity to risk being what it is because of what the outcome could be.
The outcome, NASA hopes, is annual Starliner flights to the space station. NASA wants redundancy and hired both Boeing and SpaceX a decade ago. Both companies face challenges.
Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon.
But SpaceX has launched 50 people to orbit since 2020. Boeing, none. Starliner is 7 years behind schedule, and this flight comes as Boeing's commercial airplane business faces mounting scrutiny over its safety culture, especially after a door plug fell off a 737 MAX in January.
There's one priority, and it's to do this safely.
Mark Nappy is Starliner's program manager.
I have full confidence that people are putting the vehicle together properly and that the processes are very robust.
I don't know about that, sir, but we will see now, won't we? I don't know how robust anything is at Boeing. And if the Starliner catastrophe, which over the last decade has seen so many setbacks, has anything to do with the problems at Boeing's aircraft facilities, well, we could be in for a catastrophe tomorrow because that is when the scheduled launch is. So stay tuned. The launch is coming. Here it is. It's scheduled for 10:34 p.m. EDT Monday. So tomorrow night. So stay tuned for updates tomorrow night on the update for how to watch it live. Maybe a catastrophe. And here, take a look. Here's the face you make when you have dirt on Boeing. Holy macaroni. That's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video as we are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. All the links to everything we talked about will be below this video in the description box. Please support the channel. You don't have to do it monetarily. All you have to do is share this video on your social media and help the channel grow. Be safe. We love you. And for those with tickets to the Crow Canyon Petroglyph Tour, it is fast approaching, just 3 weeks out. We'll see you all in the desert.